Hello all, we are in the process of discussing the terminologies in economy, right? So now we will see the meaning of green revolution. So what is the meaning of green revolution? So it is about increasing the yield with the combination of high yielding variety seeds, irrigation, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, etc. So what is the meaning of increasing the yield? Increasing the yield means increasing output per hectare. Increasing output of grains, of food grains per hectare is called as increasing the yield. So what is green revolution? The objective of the green revolution is to increase the yield with the combination of high yielding varieties, irrigation, chemical fertilizers and pesticides. That means these are the four elements which has enabled the green revolution in India. Am I clear? And green revolution was implemented in 1966 in India. And we do know that India had faced food crisis in 1950s. And India used to import food grains from other countries. So in order to bring or in order to pull out our country from that situation, the green revolution was introduced in 1966, right? And under green revolution, the production of rice and wheat are drastically increased, okay, to meet the needs of the people, to ensure the food security. Then high yielding variety seeds. What do you mean by high yielding variety seeds? High yielding varieties are developed by the scientists to improve food supplies and reduce famine in developing countries, right? They require more chemical fertilizers, irrigation facilities as well as pesticides. Okay, so high yielding variety seeds demands more water. They demands more fertilizers. Yes or no? So that's why in order to boost green revolution, in order to boost up the green revolution in India, the then government had started the construction of large dams across the major rivers of India. For example, Hirakud Dam across the river Mahanadi in Odisha, Nagarjuna Sagar Dam across the river Krishna, Bakranengal Dam. In that way, the then Indian government had initiated the construction of dams across India to promote green revolution. Because under green revolution, high yielding variety seeds are used, and these seeds demand more irrigation facilities. Am I clear? Right. Then what is the meaning of famine? Famine means it is characterized by widespread deaths due to starvation. Starvation means a state of having no food for a long period is called starvation. And epidemics means due to contaminated water and due to decaying food. Epidemics are nothing but diseases. Diseases spreads due to drinking contaminated water or eating decayed food, right? So famine means a widespread deaths due to starvation as well as due to epidemics is called as famine, right? So mainly agricultural laborers and daily laborers are the worst affected due to food scarcity. Am I clear? So worst affected due to food scarcity, right? Then next term, buffer stock. What is the meaning of buffer stock? Buffer stock means it is the stock of food grains, namely wheat and rice, procured by the government through FCI, Food Corporation of India. Okay, it procures the food grains from the farmers of the surplus states. That means where there is a surplus rice and wheat from that state, the FCI procures the food grains. Okay, that is called buffer stock. So what is the purpose of buffer stock? In order to prevent in order to prevent the country falling into a famine. Okay, in order to ensure food security to the nation is the main objective of the maintaining buffer stocks, right? The buffer stocks are maintained in FCI godowns. I think you know that. Okay. Next, fair price shops. These are also called as FPS, right? So these are known as ration shops, okay, which keep stock of food grains like rice, wheat, etc., as well as commodities like sugar, kerosene, and they are sold at price lower than the market price. That's why they are called fair price shops. Okay, they sell these things at a price lower than the market price. Okay, and the subsidy is borne by the central and state governments. So this is the meaning of fair price shops. Next, MSP or minimum support price. It is very, very important. See, minimum support price means it is the price declared by the government every year before the sowing season, not after the sowing season. It is very, very important point to be noted. So before the sowing season, okay, for raising the production of these crops. That means whichever the crops that are given MSP, the main objective is to raise the production of such crops. Am I clear? So this MSP is decided, the minimum support price for a crop is decided based on the recommendations of the Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. It is called as CACP. Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. So this is the meaning of minimum support price. Now, the next term, poverty. What is the meaning of poverty? Poverty means it is a state where minimum level of food requirement, minimum clothing, minimum footwear, minimum fuel and light, minimum educational and medical requirements could not be fulfilled, or minimum subsistence level of living. I'm sorry. Yes. Or minimum subsistence level of living is known as poverty. Am I clear? That means lack of minimum subsistence level of living. What is minimum subsistence level of living? That means the fundamentals of life, the needs to survive. The minimum needs to survive is called as a subsistence level of living. Okay. If the people are deprived, the people who are deprived to all these minimum level of requirements, they are called as poor. Okay. And that type of situation is called as poverty. Am I clear? Then what is poverty line? Poverty line means if the per capita expenditure to fulfill certain minimum needs of a person, including food intake of a daily average of 2,400 calories for in rural areas and 2,100 calories in urban areas, is called as a poverty line. So let me explain it again. Poverty line means the line which indicates on the graph, the line which indicates the minimum expenditure that is required to meet the minimum needs of the people. That line is called as a poverty line. So the people below that line are called as a below poverty line, meaning the people who are unable to spend minimum amount of money as prescribed by the poverty line to meet their minimum needs, is called as a poverty line. So poverty line indicates the people who are unable to spend a minimum expenditure to fulfill their minimum needs. Okay. That means the daily average of the food intake should be 2,400 calories. If they are unable to meet this parameter, they come under the below poverty line. Okay, 2400 calories in rural areas and 2100 calories in urban areas. So this is the minimum requirement. So that's why under National Food Security Act 2013, the government of India is providing food grains at a cheaper price. For example, 1 kg rice for 1 rupee, 1 kg wheat for 2 rupees. Of course, the rates may vary from one state to another state. However, the rates are very, very minimal to ensure the food security in the nation, right? Next, what is the meaning of poverty trap? So poverty trap means it persists from generations to generation, and the income is not sufficient to break the cycle of poverty. That is called as a poverty trap. That means if a person is unable to come out of poverty, then he is under the poverty trap. Okay, so let me explain what are the reasons for the poverty trap. So the first thing is a low income. So low income leads to low level of education and healthcare. Low level of education and healthcare leads to low level of human capital. What is the meaning of human capital? Human capital is nothing but human resource, right? If the human beings haven't been given enough skills, they cannot survive, they cannot earn money, right? So because of low level of education and healthcare, the consequence is a low level of human capital. So this low level human capital leads to low productivity. Again, this low productivity leads to low income. So this is a vicious cycle. Okay. So the government should take necessary measures to enable the people to come out of the poverty trap. So this is the meaning of poverty trap. Okay. So dear students, till now we have discussed many terminologies of economy, like terminologies like barter system and currency, fiat money, debtor and creditor, formal sector loans, informal sector loans, liquidity, and the meaning of solvency, and primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector, organized sector, unorganized sector, public sector and private sector, and green revolution, right? Buffer stock, famine, fair price shops, minimum support price, poverty line, and poverty trap, right? And in the next class, I will discuss a few more terminologies of economy. Okay, thank you very much.